The day Adrian Cole decided to disappear, he was standing in front of a $30 million mirror, staring at a reflection he no longer recognized. His tie was perfect. His hair was perfect. His life was perfect. And he was completely miserable. Everyone wanted something from him. His money, his power, his status. But no one wanted him. Not the man behind the name. Not the man behind the billions. Not the man who hadn't laughed in months. So he did the most shocking thing a billionaire could ever do. He removed his wristwatch. It cost more than some people's houses, and dropped it on the marble floor. "I'm done," he whispered. And for the first time in years, he wasn't talking to an employee, a board member, or a reporter. He was talking to himself. He grabbed a backpack, dumped random clothes inside, wore a brown hoodie, a plain cap, and walked out of his penthouse like a criminal escaping at dawn. No bodyguards. No driver. No security detail. Just a billionaire CEO pretending to be an ordinary, broke guy. His phone rang. It was his assistant, Liam. "Sir, the board meeting is in an hour." "Where are you?" "On a journey to find my sanity," Adrian said. "Sir, that's not even on your schedule." "Exactly." And he hung up. By the time he reached the small city he chose, he had already changed his name to Adrian Smith. A simple man with simple dreams. Even the taxi driver didn't give him a second look, which he found strangely refreshing. The driver dropped him at a noisy junction where people argued, sellers shouted, buses honked, and life moved with raw energy. The air smelled like roasted corn, engine smoke, and a strange perfume someone was definitely overusing. Perfect, he thought. He was dragging his bag through the street when the universe decided to introduce him to chaos. And not just any chaos. A special breed. He heard shouting. "Stop that bus. Stop it. Stop. Hey driver, stop or I'll curse you." He turned around just in time to see a woman sprinting like her life depended on it. Her hair was flying everywhere. Her slippers were half broken. She held a nylon bag in one hand and a cup of steaming noodles in the other, like a warrior protecting her last meal on earth. And then she tripped. Not on a stone. Not on a bump. On him. Her entire body crashed into him with the force of a falling coconut from the tallest palm tree. The noodles flew into the air like confetti celebrating a terrible moment. Her bag tore open. Money, very little money scattered on the ground. And her slipper snapped completely. Adrian hit the floor with a groan, and she landed right on top of him. "Oh my God," she shouted. "Why are you standing in the middle of the road like a moving tree stump? Are you trying to destroy my destiny?" He blinked. "I what? Do you know how long I have been chasing that bus? Do you know how many prayers I prayed this morning for that exact bus to appear? Do you know how life has been dealing with me? And now you have ended my transport plan for the day." Adrian stared at her, impressed and confused. She was dramatic, loud, wild, but somehow adorable. She had round cheeks, bright eyes, and a furious expression that should have been scary but was instead oddly funny. "I'm really sorry," he said gently. "Are you hurt? Do I look fine?" She stood up, wobbling on her one working slipper. "My noodles are gone, my last 100 naira is on the ground, my bag is dead, my dignity is bruised, and the bus that was supposed to carry me to my job interview is gone. Does that sound like someone who is okay?" He opened his mouth to reply. She pointed at him dramatically. "Don't answer." It was a rhetorical question. People had already started watching them. Some laughed. Some shook their heads. A few even recorded on their phones. She bent down to gather her scattered coins, muttering angrily. "Every day. Every single day. Problem upon problem. Is this how someone's life is supposed to be? Even TV drama series are tired of my situation." Adrian knelt beside her and helped pick up the money. "Hey, take your hands off my O." She paused. "Thank you." "You're welcome." She looked at him properly for the first time. "You look too clean to be a poor person. Why are you dressed like you borrowed suffering from someone?" He laughed softly. It surprised him. He hadn't genuinely laughed in a long time. "I just moved to this city," he said. "New beginning." "Ah." She nodded in sympathy. "So life also slapped you." "Something like that." She sighed, stood up, and adjusted her broken slipper. Well, welcome to a city where stress doesn't need permission. If you're not strong, you'll faint. He smiled. I'll try not to faint. Good? Because I don't have strength to catch anyone today. She eyed his backpack. Where are you staying? I'm still looking for a place. Oh. She hesitated. I would have helped you, but my landlord hates me with passion. He swore I came from his village just to torment him. If he sees me bringing someone home, he might call a family meeting. Adrian didn't know why, but he found every single thing about her fascinating. My name is Zara, she said suddenly. Zara Bello. Life warrior. Problem magnet. Future success story. He chuckled. Nice to meet you. I'm Adrian. Just Adrian? No surname. No surname, he lied smoothly. Suspicious, she murmured. But okay. A bus finally stopped in front of them. She gasped. My second chance. My testimony. My glory. She tried to climb in, but the broken slipper betrayed her again. She stumbled, tripped, spun like a confused fan, and accidentally kicked the bus door. The driver shouted, Madam, are you fighting my motor? Zara screamed back, I am trying to enter with dignity, please. Adrian couldn't hold it anymore. He burst into laughter. She turned to him. Stop laughing. Don't laugh. My life is not a comedy. Okay, it is, but still. He kept laughing, and that made her smile despite her anger. She looked at him, really looked, and for a moment, her voice softened. Thank you for helping me pick my money. You're welcome. She climbed into the bus, half limping. Before the door closed, she leaned out. Hey, Adrian without surname. I hope you survive this city. He grinned. I hope you get the job. Ha ha ha. From your mouth to God's ears. The door closed. And she was gone. Adrian stood there longer than necessary, replaying the chaotic moment in his head. He had traveled far to escape lies, manipulation, and fake affection. The last thing he expected on his first day was to meet someone so real, so dramatic, so chaotic, yet so full of life. He touched his cheek. He was still smiling. He hadn't smiled like that in years. Finding a simple place to stay was harder than he expected. He checked lodges, private rooms, and shared apartments. Everything was either too expensive or too unsafe. One room had a giant rat staring at him like a landlord demanding payment. After several hours, he found a tiny, dusty room in a hostel that smelled like old paint and dreams that died early. Perfect. The landlord, a short man with suspicious eyebrows, looked him up and down. You want to rent this room? Yes. You have money? Yes. The landlord narrowed his eyes. You don't look like someone with money. Thank you, Adrian said sincerely. The landlord frowned. It wasn't a compliment. Adrian paid for the room and placed his bag on the thin mattress. The bed made a noise like it was protesting the weight of responsibilities. He lay down, staring at the ceiling. It had one giant crack shaped like Africa. He sighed. This is good, he whispered. This is what I wanted. The next morning, he walked around the city, searching for a job. Something normal, something real, something that didn't involve billion-dollar contracts. He didn't reveal who he was. He didn't use his influence. He didn't even use his real name. He was just Adrian, a man looking for a fresh start. The first company he entered rejected him. We need someone with experience, the manager said. He had more experience than every person in the building combined, but he smiled and left. The second place rejected him too. We need someone who can work fast. If only they knew he built an empire from scratch. He didn't argue. At the third place, a construction site, the supervisor looked at his hands and said, You don't look strong. Adrian lifted a heavy cement bag like it was a pillow. The supervisor blinked. You start tomorrow. And just like that, a billionaire became a construction worker. Later that afternoon, he passed the bus stop where he met Zara. He wasn't expecting to see her again, but life had its own sense of humor. There she was, standing in front of a small, struggling restaurant, arguing with a frying pan like it offended her ancestors. You think you can burn my planet? Me? Zara? Impossible. She flipped the pan dramatically, almost hitting a waiter. Adrian burst out laughing before he could stop himself. She turned, eyes widening. Ah. Adrian without surname. You're alive. Barely, he joked. How was the interview? She placed one hand on her waist. They said I talk too much. Can you imagine? Me? Talk too much. He nodded slowly. I can imagine. She gasped. Are you shading me? A little. She squinted at him, then laughed. Well, I didn't get the job. But this restaurant hired me. They said I have energy. I guess that's a compliment. It is. Where did you end up working? A construction site. She blinked. Construction? You? Are you sure? You look like someone who moisturizes. He smiled. I'll try my best. She grinned back. Welcome to real life, Adrian. And then her pop began to burn again. She screamed. My plantain. And ran inside like a soldier charging into battle. Adrian stood outside the restaurant, watching her cause chaos everywhere she went. And for the first time since he escaped his billionaire world, he felt at peace. If there was one thing Adrian quickly learned about the city, it was this: quiet doesn't exist. Peace doesn't exist. Calm is a myth, especially when someone like Zara Bello lived inside it. He woke up the next morning to the sound of loud banging on the hostel door. Not his door. Someone else's. But the walls were thin. So thin they were basically gossipers that told everyone's business. He could hear every voice, every footstep, every sneeze. Open this door, a man yelled. I said open this door before I break it. Another voice replied, sounding like someone who had accepted defeat long ago. Sir, please. I just need more time. No more time. If you don't pay your rent today, I'm removing your window. Adrian sighed. This city had no mercy. He sat up, stretched, and the bed squeaked like an angry goat. After washing up in the tiny bathroom, he grabbed his bag and headed to the construction site for his first official day of work. But before he reached the gate of the hostel, someone, barreled straight into him. Again. Arg. Why is it always you? Why oh. Zara froze mid-scream when she realized who she bumped into. Adrian without surname. Good morning. He blinked at her. Are you running from something? No, she said too quickly. A second later, a furious woman ran out of the hostel shouting, Zara, come back here with my bucket. Zara hid the bright blue bucket behind her back. Adrian raised an eyebrow. You stole her bucket? I didn't steal it, she protested. I borrowed it without telling her. There is a difference. What difference? I intended to return it. That makes me a good person. The woman spotted her. You, this child of stress. Return my bucket before I show you what real trouble looks like. Zara screamed. I borrowed it with love, and took off running. The woman chased her like a warrior hunting revenge. Adrian watched the ridiculous scene unfold at 7:15 a.m., wondering if he should step in or let natural chaos continue its work. He sighed, jogged after Zara, and caught up with her easily. Give her the bucket, he said. No. Zara clutched it to her chest. I need it to fetch water before I bathe. You've already used it. I still want to hold it. It comforts me. He gently took the bucket from her and handed it to the owner. The woman hissed. Next time I see her near my door, I'll tie her to a pole. Zara gasped. I'm not a goat. You behave like one, the woman replied before marching away. Zara pouted dramatically. She didn't have to say that. You actually do run around like one, Adrian said. She slapped his arm lightly. Don't join them in oppressing me. He laughed. Fine. I'm sorry. She folded her arms, still pouting. Good. Apology accepted. Buy me breakfast. Why should I buy you breakfast? Compensation for all the emotional damage caused this morning. He shook his head. You're unbelievable. Thank you. I hear that a lot. They walked together toward her workplace, the small restaurant that looked like it had survived 10 wars, 2 floods, and 1 stubborn landlord. The sign outside read, Taste of Heaven. But the V was missing, so it said, 8N. Zara pushed the door open dramatically. I have arrived. The cook, a tall woman named Madame Beezy, didn't look up from the pot she was stirring. If you burn food today, I'll remove it from your salary. I haven't even started. Zara exclaimed. That's why I'm warning you early. Adrian chuckled. Zara turned to him. So you're going to this site now? Yes. Will they let you lift heavy things? I already did yesterday. Oh. She looked impressed. So you're a strong man, interesting. He blinked at her tone. Why do you sound like you're evaluating me? I'm not. She waved her hands quickly. I'm just observing. Observing what? Life. He narrowed his eyes. Zara, what are you planning? Nothing. I'm an innocent flower. He snorted. You are many things, but definitely not innocent. Her jaw dropped. You insulted me. And early in the morning, too. It's not an insult if it's true. Wow. Wow. Okay, mister, I look like I use expensive soap. Go to work before I pour stew on you. He grinned. See you later? She tried to hide her smile but failed. See you later. The construction site was a different world entirely. Men shouted instructions, lifted cement bags, pushed wheelbarrows, and worked under the hot sun like superheroes with back pain. The supervisor, a huge man with a neck thick enough to be a tree trunk, waved Adrian over. He said. Carry those blocks and move them to the other side. Adrian nodded and got to work. The blocks were heavy, but he didn't complain. In fact, he welcomed the burn in his arms. It reminded him that he was human, not a machine designed to sign contracts and attend endless meetings. One of the workers, a boy around 19, approached him. Brothers, you be new guy? Yes. I be Chuka. If anybody stress you, tell me. Thank you. Chuka grinned. But no lie, you too fine to be construction worker. You sure say you know be run from problem. Adrian hesitated, then smiled. Something like that. Hours passed. Sweat soaked through his shirt, dust covered his face, and his muscles ached in a way that felt strangely satisfying. During lunch break, he ate rice in a nylon wrap at the roadside. It was the simplest meal he'd had in years, but it tasted better than anything from the five-star restaurants he used to dine in. He felt alive. After work, he walked back to the restaurant to see Zara. He didn't know why, but something about her drew him in like a magnet with chaotic energy. When he arrived, she was standing outside, holding a tray of food and arguing with the customer. I said I ordered jollof rice, not divorce, the customer shouted. I didn't give you divorce. Zara yelled. Why would I give you divorce? Do I look like someone who shares divorce? You gave me the wrong order. Oh. She blinked. That makes more sense. Adrian laughed so loudly the customer turned to glare at him. Zara pointed at Adrian immediately. He's my witness. The customer narrowed his eyes. Witness to what? Adrian raised both hands. I'm just standing. Zara dragged him closer. He saw you give me the wrong order. That's why I'm confused. The customer snapped. I did not give you any order. Zara gasped dramatically. So you are saying I gave myself the wrong order? That means I'm fighting myself. Oh my God, Adrian muttered. Zara, stop confusing the man. Madame Beezy came out, grabbed the tray from Zara, and smacked her lightly with a spoon. Go inside. You're disturbing customers again. Zara groaned. Why is everybody always treating me like a troublesome cat? Because you are one, Madame Beezy said. Adrian followed Zara inside as she rubbed her forehead. I don't know why trouble loves me. Maybe because you're interesting. She paused midway through picking up a bowl. What did you say? You're interesting, he repeated. Life around you is never boring. Her lips pressed together in a shy smile. You think so? I know so. She looked down at the bowl to hide her blush. Okay. Thanks. But 10 seconds later, she tripped over a stool and nearly dropped the bowl. Adrian caught her before she fell. She froze in his arms, waited. You're fast. You're clumsy. Hey, she protested. I am delicate, not clumsy. You fall at least once a day. She gasped. Are you monitoring my falling statistics? He laughed. No, but it's impressive. In a bad way? In an entertaining way. She stuck out her tongue at him like a child. Whatever. Her shift ended by evening, and they walked out together. So, she said, swinging her bag, how was your first real day as a strong man? Painful, he admitted. But good. Do they treat you well? They treat me fairly. Do they shout? Sometimes. Do you like the job? I like working. It feels honest. She nodded slowly. That's surprising. How? She shrugged. You look like someone who grew up soft. He raised an eyebrow. Soft. You know, a nice skin, clean nails, hair that combs easily. People like that usually don't know how to do hard work. He chuckled. I can handle hard work. That's a good thing. Smart men who can also do physical work are rare. Many of them just like giving instructions while drinking juice. He nearly choked. If she knew who he actually was, she would scream. What about you? He asked. How was your day? Zara groaned. Today was long. First, I almost fought a customer. Then I burned plantain again. Then Madame Beezy said if I spoil one more pot, she'll remove my transport fare from my salary. Adrian tried not to laugh. How many pots have you spoiled? She looked away. Not many. How many is not many? She mumbled something. What? 6. 6. She slapped his arm. Don't shout. The pots attacked me first. He burst into laughter. You're unbelievable. She said proudly. I know. They continued walking. Then she suddenly stopped. Adrian. Yes. You're not like other guys I know. How? You listen. You don't rush to judge me. You don't make fun of me too much. And you're calm. He blinked, surprised. You think I'm calm? Yes. Extremely calm. No one has ever said that about me before. Well, she said, flipping her hair dramatically, that's because you just met me. I bring out true qualities in people. He laughed again. She folded her arms. What about me? What do you think of me? He didn't hesitate. You're dramatic, chaotic, unpredictable, and you care more than you admit. Zara stared at him for a long moment. You see too much. I pay attention. Adrian woke up the next morning with his body reminding him that construction work was not a rich man's gym routine. His back complained. His arms protested. His legs asked him why he hated them. When he stood up, he groaned like a grandfather rising from a prayer mat. But he smiled anyway. He had a reason. Or rather, a person. He showered quickly, dressed in his cheap shirt, and headed out of the hostel. The weather was calm, until he heard someone shouting from a far distance. Come back here. Leave my chicken alone. He stopped walking. Only one person could be responsible for chaos this early in the morning. A blur of brown hair, flying skirt, and wild energy dashed across the street and ran directly toward him. Adrian, she screamed. Before he could prepare himself, Zara threw herself behind him and used him as a human shield. He blinked. Zara? What are you? Protect me. From what? From life. He turned his head just in time to see a furious middle-aged man running toward them, holding a broom like a weapon. You this girl, the man yelled. I will deal with you today. Adrian stepped slightly forward. Sir, please. Is she hiding behind you? Are you her lawyer? No, Do you know what she did? The man yelled. Adrian sighed. Let me guess. Something dramatic. Zara popped her head out from behind him. It wasn't my fault. The man pointed the broom at her. You entered my shop, chased my chicken, stepped on my fresh bread, and then you told my customer my rice tastes like punishment. Zara gasped. It's true. His rice does taste like punishment. The man shrieked like a boiling kettle. Adrian dragged her away quickly. Run now, he said. Zara didn't need to be told twice. She grabbed his wrist, and the two of them ran down the street while the man screamed behind them. When they finally reached a safe corner, she bent down, laughing and panting at the same time. That man hates me, she declared proudly. You step on his bread and insult his rice. Of course he hates you. She waved him off. Life is too short for tasteless rice. He couldn't stop the smile spreading across his face. Do you always start your mornings like this? Yes. She flipped her hair proudly. I bring energy to the environment. You bring confusion to the environment. I bring both. I'm a complete package. He chuckled. You're unbelievable. Thank you, she said, placing her hands on her waist. So, Mr. Strongman, ready for another day of construction suffering? As ready as I can be. Good. I'll pass by the site later. I want to see how you carry cement like a champion. Why? I don't know, she said honestly. It sounds entertaining. He shook his head with a smile. She gave him a playful salute. See you later, Adrian without surname. And she ran off toward the restaurant. The construction site was already buzzing when Adrian arrived. Workers hammered, mixed cement, carried blocks, and argued like it was part of their job description. Chuka waved at him. Brothers, the fine man is here. Another worker, Musa, squinted at him. This one no look like person way day suffer. See him skin. Fresh like baby. Adrian laughed. I do suffer. I just don't complain. The supervisor, Mr. Ade, pointed at a stack of heavy blocks. Move these to the east side. Yes, sir. Adrian bent down and began lifting. His muscles screamed, but he ignored them. He carried block after block, sweating, breathing hard, determined. At some point, he became aware of two female workers whispering nearby. Who is the new guy? He's too fine for this work. Maybe heartbreak brought him here. Or debt. Or he ran from a wedding. Adrian wanted to laugh but stayed focused. By noon, he was coated in dirt, sweat, and cement. And then he heard her voice. Wow! He didn't need to turn around to know who it was. Zara stood at the entrance of the site, her eyes shining like she'd discovered a new TV series. Amazing, she shouted. Look at you carrying blocks. You look like someone who fought poverty and won. Adrian laughed tiredly. What are you doing here? Madame Beezy sent me to buy pepper, but I got distracted. He shook his head. Of course. She walked closer, stepping carefully around cement puddles. I brought you something. He raised an eyebrow. What? She pulled out a plastic cup of cold zobo from her bag like she was offering treasure. For energy. He accepted it gratefully. Thank you. You're welcome. She watched him drink. So, how's the strongman life? Tiring, he said between gulps. But honest. She eyed him. You like honest things, don't you? He paused. Yes, I do. Interesting, she murmured. Before he could ask what that meant, the supervisor shouted. Who is this woman? Go outside if you're not working. Zara placed her hand dramatically on her chest. Is this how you greet guests? Out. Oh. She hissed at the supervisor and turned to Adrian. I'm leaving. See you after work. She blew him a playful kiss and ran out. Adrian froze. He wasn't expecting that. Chuka nudged him. Brothers, that girl like you. Adrian coughed. No, she's just dramatic. All dramatic girls like somebody. Musa nodded. And she no send anybody. That kind girl go love strong. Adrian shook his head, but a small, stupid smile betrayed him. After work, he walked toward the restaurant again. Not because he wanted food, though he was starving, but because he hoped she would be there. And she was. Zara was outside sweeping, but she wasn't doing it like a normal human being. She was dancing while sweeping, singing loudly and off-key. Life is hard, ho. But I am harder. Life cannot defeat me. I will fight it with broom. Adrian stopped walking. Is this girl normal? Zara, he called. She spun around dramatically. Ah, my favorite construction worker. I think I lost 3 years of my life listening to that song. She pointed the broom at him. Respect my creativity. He laughed. Fine. You're creative. Thank you. He moved closer. How was your day? She dropped the broom and groaned. Stress. Endless stress. First, the gas finished when I was frying meat. Then one customer said I laughed too much. Then another customer said I should smile more. Humans don't know what they want. I agree. And to crown it all, Madame Beezy said I talk too much. You do talk too much. Her mouth dropped. Excuse me. It's part of your charm. She closed her mouth slowly. Oh. Continue. He smiled. It makes people notice you. That is true, she said, nodding proudly. I'm like a walking alarm. You can't ignore me. How could anyone ignore you? He murmured. She blinked, startled by the softness in his tone. What was that? Nothing. No, Adrian. Say it again. He shook his head, embarrassed. I said nothing. She smirked. Okay, but I heard compliments. He rubbed the back of his neck. Are you free after work? For what? Just talking. She narrowed her eyes. Talking or talking? What's the difference? Oh, there's a difference, she said confidently. Talking is normal. Talking can lead to heartbreak, responsibility, and sharing of shawarma. He laughed loudly. Relax. Just talking. She snapped her fingers. Good. Because I don't share shawarma with anyone. He smiled. Noted. Later that evening, when her shift ended, they walked together to a quiet park nearby. Kids played, vendors called out prices, and the air smelled like roasted corn. They sat on a bench. Zara swung her legs. So, Mr. Without Surname, tell me something deep. Deep. Yes. Something emotional, mysterious, meaningful. Something that makes me say, ah. He looked at her amused. Why? It's free entertainment. He sighed. I left my old life because I needed peace. She nodded slowly. That's deep. Continue. I felt trapped. Everyone expected something from me. I lost myself. Her eyes softened. You ran away from pressure. Yes. She tapped her chin. You know, some people run from heartbreak. Some run from debt. Some run from evil landlords. But running from too much expectation? That one is new. He chuckled. What about you? What's your deep thing? She took a long breath. My deep thing is, life stresses me for no reason. I'm always moving from one problem to another. My family depends on me. My siblings need me. My landlord hates me. My job drains me. But I keep going. He stared at her, impressed. You're strong. She blinked. Me? Strong? Yes. No. I'm stubborn, not strong. You're both. She looked away, embarrassed. Thank you. He watched her swing her legs again, and something warm settled in his chest. How do you stay so cheerful? He asked. Oh. She smiled. That part is easy. I have no choice. If I stop laughing, I'll cry. And if I cry, I won't stop. He felt that. Deeply. She continued, so I laugh. I shout. I dance. I cause trouble. I do nonsense. It keeps me alive. He whispered, It makes you wonderful. Her head snapped toward him. What was that? Nothing. No. I heard that. And don't worry, I accept the compliment. He laughed. She nudged him with her elbow. Adrian, I like talking to you. I like talking to you too. She lifted her chin proudly. Well, of course. I'm very likable. You are, he said without hesitation. She froze. For once. Zara Bello had no words. She stared at him, confused, flustered, and sweetly surprised. Say it again, she whispered. You're likable. Her voice dropped. Stop saying it like that. It's making my heart do nonsense. He smiled softly. Sorry. Don't be sorry. Continue. He laughed. She stood up suddenly. I'm going home before I faint from compliment overdose. He looked up at her. Want me to walk you? She shook her head quickly. No. If you walk me home, I might accidentally fall in love. And I'm not ready. His heart skipped. She pointed at him dramatically. Good night, dangerous man. He blinked. Dangerous? Yes. You're too calm. Too gentle. Too a something. Before he could reply, she spun around and ran away. She tripped halfway, regained balance, kept running. He watched her go, a smile pulling at his lips. He didn't need anyone to spell it out. He was falling. Slowly. Quietly. Deeply. For the hurricane he never saw coming. The next morning arrived fast, much faster than Zara expected. She woke up with her face glued to her pillow like someone had poured glue on it in the night. Her alarm didn't ring because her phone decided to restart by itself again. She grabbed it, saw the time, and screamed like someone stepped on her soul. I am late. Late again. Why is my life like this? She threw on the nearest clothes, mismatched socks, a faded black jean, and a yellow shirt that said be nice. The irony almost slapped her, because being nice was the last thing she felt capable of doing this morning. Downstairs, her siblings were already fighting over who took whose bread. You ate my side. You don't own sides. You're wicked. Zara marched past them and grabbed the last slice. You two will not kill me. Eat air. Bye. And she ran out of the house. Across town, Adrian was already at the construction site, carrying bags of cement like they weighed nothing. Honestly, everyone thought he was showing off. But in reality, he was enjoying the work. It was physical, straightforward, and no board member complained about budgets or numbers. Nobody bowed to him. Nobody begged for favors. He loved the normalness. But he still kept checking the road, hoping Zara would pass by like she usually did. And when she finally appeared, running like she was being chased by destiny itself, he almost smiled. Almost. She didn't notice him. She was too busy panicking. He watched her run to the bus stop, wave at a bus that didn't stop, curse the bus, then kick a stone and hurt her toe. She hopped on one leg dramatically. "Are you okay?" Adrian called out. Zara froze, turned, and squinted at him like he was interrupting her pain moment. "Oh, it's you. Cement boy. Cement boy." Adrian raised a brow. She flicked her hand. "It fits you." He wanted to say something cool, something charming, but all that came out was, "Your sock colors don't match." She gasped, scandalized. "I am not color blocking for fashion. I am color blocking for survival." He chuckled. She hobbled over with her hurt toe. "Help me stop a bike. If I'm late today, my boss will remove my name from payroll." Adrian didn't even think twice. He stepped to the road and flagged down a bike with the authority of a man who once controlled industries. The bike stopped immediately. Zara's eyes widened. "Ah, teach me. How did you do that?" "I just waved," he said. "No. Your wave has mystery behind it. I need that kind of hand power in my life." He shook his head. She was unbelievable and fascinating. Before she climbed the bike, she looked at him and said, "Thank you. You're actually helpful." Then she zoomed off, leaving Adrian with a smile he didn't even realize formed on his face. Zara didn't get fired that morning. In fact, she arrived just in time to see her boss shouting at another staff who mistakenly spilled pepper soup on a customer. Zara slid quietly to her station, tied her apron, and pretended she had been there for hours. But her mind wasn't at work. It kept returning to Adrian. That strange, quiet, strong, soft-spoken man who acted like he had lived 1,000 different lives. "Who is he?" she muttered while wiping a table. "Who is who?" her coworker Mabel asked. "No one." Mabel grinned. "Talk before I drag it out of you." Zara sighed dramatically. "Fine. He is this guy I met 2 days ago. He works at the construction site. He's weird. Quiet. Strong. Mysterious. And you like him," Mabel whispered. Zara blinked rapidly. "Nobody said that. Your eyelashes are confessing on your behalf." "Will you keep quiet?" she hissed. "I just said he's interesting." Mabel tapped her shoulder. "Be careful. You fall for trouble easily." Zara scoffed, but a tiny part of her wondered, was Adrian trouble? Or was he the one thing in her life that didn't come with drama? Later that afternoon, Zara's restaurant had a rush hour. Customers filled every table. Children ran around. Someone spilled juice. Someone argued about rice portions. Someone complained the stew was too hot. Zara was spinning like a fan on top speed. And then he walked in. Adrian, wearing his usual simple shirt, dusty boots, and that calmness that annoyed her because she didn't have any. He stepped inside, searching for a seat, and Zara nearly missed a step. He walked to her counter. "Hi," he said. She crossed her arms. "Are you stalking me?" "I came for food." He sat down. She took his order. But she kept glancing at him when he wasn't looking. Why did he look good even in dusty clothes? Why did he sit like he owned the building? Why did his voice feel like it carried secrets? And why did she want to know all of them? She served him rice and grilled chicken. When their eyes met, it felt like time paused, even though someone in the background shouted, "Who took my spoon?" "I'm fighting somebody today." Zara cleared her throat and walked away before her brain betrayed her. Adrian took one bite of his food and knew immediately that Zara didn't make it. It lacked her chaotic charm. Her meals always tasted like she cooked while fighting imaginary dragons. This one tasted like it came from a tired staff. When Zara returned to his table to drop water, she accidentally spilled a little on his hand. "Oh, sorry," she panicked. "My hand slipped. My whole life is slippery." "It's fine," he said gently. Her eyes darted to his. "Are you always this calm?" "Maybe." "That's suspicious," she said. "Nobody is that calm." He smirked. "You're enough chaos for both of us." Her breath caught. She looked away quickly, cheeks warm. "Don't say things like that. I'm not used to compliments." He paused. A softness passed through his expression. "You deserve them." She blinked. The restaurant noise faded. For 3 seconds, there was something heavy, warm, and new between them. And Zara felt it, clearly. She stepped back fast. I have customers, she stammered, then practically ran away. Adrian watched her flee, amused and strangely happy. She wasn't like the women who tried to flirt with him back in his real world. She wasn't careful. She wasn't calculating. She wasn't pretending. She was just Zara. And he liked that more than he expected. After work, Zara walked outside and saw her landlord leaning on her door like he owned the whole building. Oh no, she whispered. Why today? Why must he choose violence today? Zara, the landlord barked. Your rent is cooking, she interrupted immediately. Like stew. Almost ready. Zara, he folded his arms. Please, just give me time, she begged. Life has been dragging me by the neck. The landlord wasn't moved. One more week. She bowed in frustration. Thank you, sir. He left. She pressed her hands to her face. God, why? Can't you give me 1 month of peace? Then she heard a quiet voice behind her. Are you okay? She turned. Adrian stood there, holding a bag of groceries. You again, she muttered weakly. I was passing by, he said. Why do you always pass by at the exact moment my life is crashing? He smiled faintly. I have good timing. She sighed heavily and sat on the low fence. Everything is stressing me. Work. Family. Rent. Myself. Life. I'm trying, but it's like problems chase me with GPS. Adrian sat beside her, leaving a polite gap. Maybe you're stronger than you think, he said quietly. Zara turned to him, tired eyes softening. You really think so? Yes. Silence. Warm. Calm. Comfortable. Then she suddenly stood up. No. No. I can't be catching feelings right now. I have bills. Feelings are expensive. Adrian blinked. What? Forget it, she said, waving her arms dramatically. Good night. She rushed into her house and slammed the door. Adrian stared after her. Then he exhaled. He was falling for her. Too fast. Too deep. And he had no idea how to stop. Adrian did not sleep well that night. He kept turning on the thin mattress in his small room, staring at the ceiling like it contained all the answers he needed. But nothing came. Only one thought kept repeating in his head. Zara is getting under his skin. It was ridiculous. Impossible. Dangerous. He came here to find genuine love, not to lose his entire mind over a dramatic woman who screamed at buses and fought with bread. But every time he replayed her saying, "Are you always this calm?" he felt something inside him pull. And he didn't know how to pull back. Morning arrived too quickly. The sun didn't even shine politely. It attacked the window like it was fighting him. Adrian groaned and sat up, rubbing his face. Get a grip, he whispered to himself. He dressed up, wore his fake identity clothes, tied his boots, and walked out. But the moment he stepped into the street, he felt eyes on him. Not Zara's. Someone else. He glanced around. A tinted black car was parked across the road. The kind of car that did not belong anywhere near this rough neighborhood. Its engine was off, but the air around it felt too quiet. Adrian froze. His chest tightened. He knew that car. His assistant, Leo, owned it. And Leo only showed up when the company was on fire or when he needed to drag Adrian back home by force. Adrian backed up slowly, trying to turn and walk away. Too late. The back door of the car opened. Leo stepped out, wearing a sharp suit that screamed, "I don't belong here and I know it." His expression was a dangerous mix of disbelief, irritation, and pure frustration. "Sir," Leo said, voice low. "I found you." Adrian closed his eyes painfully. "Leo, please tell me you're not here to make a scene." A scene? Leo stared around at the dusty road, the hanging wires, the cracked walls, the overexcited chickens. "Sir, you vanished for 3 weeks. I have passed the stage of scenes." Adrian sighed, ready to argue, but then Zara's voice echoed from behind him. "Oh, cement boy, you're up early." He turned. She stood there in another chaotic outfit, pink shirt, blue skirt, and a scarf that was struggling to stay on her head. She was dragging a large bag of clothes, likely for her laundry shift before work. Her eyes moved from Adrian to Leo to the expensive car. Her brows furrowed slowly. "Wait," she said. "What is happening here?" Leo looked at her in disbelief. "And who is this?" Zara gasped. "Who is this? Who are you?" Leo blinked. "I am talking to my boss." "Boss?" Zara repeated, pointing at Adrian. "Your boss? This one? Cement boy? Boss of what?" "Wheelbarrow Union." Adrian pressed his temples. "Zara, let me explain." No. She lifted her hand dramatically. What exactly is going on? Why do you have a man in suit calling you boss? Why is he stepping out of a car richer than my destiny? Leo stared at Adrian like he expected an explanation too. Adrian inhaled deeply. Leo, get back in the car. Leo instantly froze. Sir, I said get back in the car. Leo obeyed like a robot, but he didn't close the door. Adrian turned to Zara. I promise I can explain everything. But not right now. Zara narrowed her eyes. You're hiding something again. He swallowed hard. Yes. She blinked. I appreciate the honesty, but that doesn't help me understand anything. He opened his mouth, but a loud crash interrupted them. A bucket from a balcony fell beside Zara, splashing water everywhere. She screamed. Not again. The tenant upstairs shouted. Sorry, oh. My bucket slipped. Zara wiped her face with frustration. Great. Beautiful. Another day in the life of Zara Bello. She turned back to Adrian. You know what? I don't have time for secrets this morning. I have rent issues, work stress, and now random bucket water on my head. If you have something to say, say it. If not, allow me to suffer in peace. Adrian stepped closer. I will tell you everything. But I need you to trust me for now. She stared at him for a long second. Her breathing slowed. Her eyes softened, just a little. Then she turned away. I don't know if I can trust someone I don't even understand, she said quietly. But I don't think you want to hurt me. So, just don't vanish like the people in my life always do. His chest tightened. He wanted to reach for her hand. He wanted to tell her he wasn't leaving. He wanted to say he respected her more than most of the world he ran from. But he couldn't. Not yet. Leo drove slowly beside Adrian as they walked to the construction site. Sir, Leo said, lowering the window, you disappeared. You shut off your phone. You ignored board meetings. You left the company without explanation. What am I supposed to tell the directors? Tell them I'm finding something important, Adrian muttered. Leo scoffed. Important? Sir, people don't find things inside dusty apartments and construction sites. Adrian gave him a sharp glare. You don't understand. Then make me understand. Adrian stopped walking. When every woman looks at you like you're made of gold, how do you know who really sees you? Leo opened his mouth, but no words came out. Adrian continued. I'm tired of money choosing relationships for me. I want one person who sees me, with or without the billions. Leo sighed. So you came to live as a poor man? Yes. And you're in love with the dramatic woman from earlier? Adrian froze. Leo smirked. Sir, your face told me. Adrian looked away. It's not that simple. Of course it isn't. Because now I'm in trouble too. Adrian frowned. Why are you in trouble? Leo lowered his voice. Because your mother is here. Adrian stopped breathing. What? Leo nodded miserably. She landed last night. She thinks you've been kidnapped. She wants to sweep the entire city until she finds you. Sir, she brought security forces. Adrian cursed under his breath. This was bad. Very bad. If his mother found him here, the disguise, the search for genuine love, everything would collapse. And worse, Zara would think he lied to her from the beginning. He needed to act fast. At the restaurant, Zara was wiping tables aggressively, like the tables offended her. Mabel approached. You're already angry this early? Zara pointed at the ceiling. Life is trying to beat me. What happened again? A bucket tried to baptize me from the sky. And Cement Boy is acting weird. Mabel blinked. Weird how? He has a friend in suit who called him boss. Mabel gasped. Boss? As in manager boss? Or village cult boss? Zara groaned. I don't know. Mabel eyed her knowingly. You like him? Zara pointed sharply. Stop saying that. Mabel smirked. Then stop blushing like a ripe tomato. I am not blushing. You are. I am hot. Yes, hot with feelings. Zara threw her towel at her. Meanwhile, Adrian spent his entire break planning how to avoid being discovered. But everything he came up with ended in disaster. He needed Leo to distract his mother. He needed the company to relax. He needed Zara not to see anything suspicious. But the worst thing happened. As he walked out of the construction site in the evening, Zara saw him again. And standing beside him was Leo, holding a tablet, showing pictures of Adrian in expensive suits. Zara froze. Her heart slammed against her chest. What is that? She whispered. Adrian turned too late. He saw the pictures. He saw Zara. He saw her heart cracking through her expression. Zara, wait. No, she took a step back. No. Let me explain. You lied to me. He took a desperate step toward her. I had to. Why? She yelled. Why pretend to be poor? Why hide your life? Why make me tell you things thinking you were like me? He reached for her hand. She stepped back. No, she whispered. People lie to me all the time. I thought, maybe you were different. She turned and walked away fast. Adrian tried to follow her, but she shouted without looking back. Do not follow me. She disappeared into the crowded street. Adrian stood there, breathing harshly. He whispered her name like a plea. Zara. And for the first time since he escaped his billionaire world, he felt truly helpless. Adrian stood in the middle of the road long after Zara vanished into the crowd. Cars honked around him, a bike rider cursed him, a woman selling oranges told him he had no sense, but he didn't care. He had broken something fragile, and now he didn't know how to fix it. Leo approached slowly, unsure whether to speak. Sir, should I call security? Or your mother? Or... Leo, Adrian said quietly, be silent for the next 10 minutes. Or I might scream. Leo nodded and zipped his mouth like a cartoon character. Adrian raked his hands through his hair. His disguise suddenly felt heavier. His clothes itched. His boots felt like weights. Everything felt wrong. He needed to explain to Zara. He needed to tell her everything. He needed to make things right. But Zara reacted like someone who was used to betrayal. Someone who had been disappointed too many times. Someone who didn't have space in her life for more pain. And he had added pain to her wounds. He hated himself for that. Zara walked fast, her eyes hot, her heart pounding so painfully she felt it in her ears. She didn't want anyone to see her crying, so she kept her head down and wiped her cheeks with the back of her hand. She couldn't believe him. She couldn't believe she fell for him. She couldn't believe she hooked feelings onto someone who wasn't even who she thought he was. She didn't know whether to scream or cry or kick a wall. Boss, she muttered as she walked. Boss. Boss. Are you kidding me? She wiped her tears harder. He wasn't poor? He wasn't struggling like her? He wasn't living the life she had imagined they had in common? He was something else. Rich. Powerful. Controlled. Calm. Everything she was not. And that hurt worse than the lie itself. She reached her house, slammed her door shut, and sat on the floor breathing hard. Her sister poked her head into the room. Zara? Why is your face doing like boiled yam? Leave me alone, she said, but her voice cracked. Her sister walked in slowly. Did something happen? Zara sniffed loudly. I hate men. Her sister nodded. Okay. Valid. But which man in particular? The cement boy. The fine one. Don't call him fine. Okay. The ugly one. Zara glared at her. Don't call him ugly. Her sister blinked. So, he's fine. Zara groaned and rolled to her side on the floor dramatically. My heart is a useless thing. Her sister sat beside her and rubbed her back. Tell me what happened. But Zara didn't know how to explain it. How could she tell her sister she had feelings she didn't want? Feelings she didn't plan for? Feelings she now regretted? So she said the only thing she could manage. He lied. Her sister sighed softly. People lie. But some lies, people fix. Zara didn't reply. She wasn't ready to hear that yet. Back outside, Adrian stared at the road she had run through. The evening breeze was cold, but not as cold as the hollow feeling in his stomach. Sir, Leo began gently. I ruined it. Adrian cut in. Sir, you were going to tell her eventually. I should have told her sooner. Leo hesitated. You think she would have believed you? Hi, I'm secretly one of the richest men in the country, but I swear I'm humble. Sir, she would have thrown a shoe at you. Adrian exhaled. That's not helping. Leo cleared his throat. Okay, let me be practical. Step 1. Fix your disguise story. Step 2. Handle your mother before she hears you're working as a laborer. Step 3. Apologize properly to the dramatic woman. Adrian stared at him. Her name is Zara. Leo nodded. I'll write it down so I don't forget the name of the woman who might make the CEO faint. Leo. Sorry, sir. Adrian rubbed his forehead. Call the hotel. Tell them to stop my mother from leaving. Tell her I'm safe. Tell her I'm on a break. Make something up. On it. Leo stepped aside to make the call. Adrian took one more look down the street before walking off. He had a long night ahead. Zara didn't sleep well. Her pillow was soaked, her heart was confused, and her mind was loud. She hated lies. But, even worse, she hated that she cared. She tossed again, then sat up at midnight. What if he actually had a reason? She whispered into the darkness. Then she slapped her cheeks. Nope. Don't soften. Stay angry. But her chest still ached. She hugged her pillow and rolled dramatically to the edge of the bed. I should not be thinking about a man who lied. I should be thinking of rent. And bills. And not dying. But she couldn't help it. She remembered the way he always checked up on her. The way he helped her catch bikes. The calm way he listened to her chaos. The way he looked at her like she wasn't as messy as she felt. She buried her face into her pillow. I hate my heart. The next morning, Zara dragged herself out of bed like someone pulled her with a rope. She didn't even bother dressing well. She wore oversized clothes that looked like they were running away from her body. When she stepped outside, she didn't expect to see anyone. Especially not him. But there he was. Adrian stood across the street, hands in his pockets, looking like he hadn't slept either. Her heart jumped, but she forced her face into a scowl. No, she said immediately. Don't greet me. He walked toward her slowly. Zara. No. I'm sorry. No. I owe you the truth. She folded her arms tightly. The truth was free yesterday. Today it is expensive. He almost smiled. Then I'll pay. Good. Start by telling me who you really are. He took a deep breath. My name is Adrian Cole. I know that already. But what you don't know, he looked around, lowered his voice, and continued, I'm the CEO of Cole Group. Zara stared. Then stared harder. Then blinked. Then said, What is Cole Group? Adrian paused. It's one of the largest companies in the... Oh, she said, cutting in. So you're not just rich. You're rich. He nodded. Zara snapped her fingers. So while I was eating noodles at night, you were probably eating golden rice from heaven? I don't eat golden rice, he said. She narrowed her eyes. Rich people always deny their golden rice. He sighed. Zara, I left that life because no one sees me as a person. Just as a billionaire. I wanted something real. She softened a little. But only a little. And lying was your solution? It wasn't lying. It was a staying hidden. That is literally lying with extra steps. Adrian took another step closer. I never meant to hurt you. I just wanted one person who liked me for me. Zara's chest tightened. She looked away. Why me? Because, he hesitated, then said it softly, you're the only woman who speaks to me without fear. You yell at me. You laugh loudly. You feel things deeply. You're real. She blinked rapidly. He continued, voice gentle. You're chaos. But you're honest chaos. And I've never met anyone like you. Zara tried to stay angry. She really tried. But her heart was already wobbling like jelly. Still, she looked him straight in the eye and said, even if you meant well, you broke my trust. I know, he whispered. Let me fix it. Trust isn't cement you can mix on-site and mold into a block. I'll still try. Zara swallowed hard. Then she sighed loudly. Fine. I'll give you small chance. Tiny. Very tiny. Like mosquito size. Adrian's eyes softened. Thank you. But, she lifted a finger. One more lie, and I will block you spiritually. He almost laughed. Understood. She stepped around him. I'm late for work. Can I walk you? No. He nodded. She took 3 steps. Then turned. Actually, yes. Walk me. Adrian smiled. A real one. But life wasn't done with them. Not even close. As they turned onto the main road, a black van pulled up beside them. The door slid open. Adrian froze. Zara froze. Out stepped his mother. Elegant, intimidating, expensive, and furious. Adrian Cole, she shouted. Get inside this vehicle right now. Zara's mouth fell open. Adrian closed his eyes in pain. His mother marched toward them. Is this where you've been? With this girl? Zara gasped. Excuse me. Which girl? Point well before I slap you accurately. Adrian whispered. Zara, please don't. No. No one should call me this girl, and go free. His mother gasped. She is violent. Zara stepped forward. Madam, you have no idea. Adrian stood between them, arms out. His nightmare had officially begun. And Zara's chaos had just met the original source of his chaos. His mother. Adrian had been warned that the city's annual Lantern Festival was chaotic, but nothing, absolutely nothing, prepared him for Zara Bello's version of chaos inside that same festival. The sky that evening glowed orange from thousands of floating lanterns. Music blasted from every corner. Vendors shouted prices so loudly you'd think they were competing for a prize. and crowds moved like waves with no direction. Children ran, lovers kissed, elders danced, and everywhere smelled like roasted corn, zia, and sugar-coated puff-puff. Adrian should have been thinking about the beauty of the evening. Instead, he was thinking about Zara, because she was the only person capable of turning beauty into something dangerously close to madness. And she did. Oh, she absolutely did. Adrian, Zara shouted from somewhere in the crowd. Where are you? I've lost my slippers again. Adrian closed his eyes. How do you lose slippers in one spot? I don't know. They just disappear from my feet. I think slippers hate me. He pushed through the crowd until he found her hopping on one foot, one barefoot, hair tilted to the side, annoyed beyond description. She looked adorable. What happened now? He asked, already bracing for impact. This evil child stepped on the back of my slippers, and it flew forward like a missile. Zara pointed aggressively at a 4-year-old who was eating cotton candy innocently. The child shrank behind his mother. Adrian knelt beside her, trying not to laugh. So how do you want to find it in this crowd? I don't know, but I'm tired. This festival is too stressful. My destiny was not built for walking barefoot. He sighed and carried her, just like that, lifting her into his arms, ignoring the whistles and teasing shouts from strangers. Look at love. Oh. Fine boy, carry me too. Zara gasped dramatically. Please drop me. Everyone is looking. No, Adrian said calmly. If I drop you, you'll injure your feet again. You're safer up here. Zara stopped fighting. She relaxed into his arms, staring at him quietly. For a moment. Just a moment. Her heart softened. She didn't say anything, but he felt it in how she leaned her head against his shoulder. Then she ruined the moment, as usual. Adrian, if I fall from your arms and die, I will haunt you. He laughed. Loudly. Because loving her felt like being punched repeatedly with confusion and tenderness at the same time. He carried her until they reached an empty bench. He set her down gently, and she stretched her toes dramatically like someone who had just survived war. Thank you, she said quietly. You're welcome. Their eyes held for a few seconds. Something fragile, warm, and dangerous flickered between them. Something close to love. He wanted to tell her everything. Who he was. Why he was here. What he felt for her. But Zara suddenly gasped loudly. Adrian. Suya. He blinked. What about Suya? I want Suya, she shouted as if announcing breaking news. Before he could answer, she grabbed his hand and dragged him toward the Suya stand like someone chasing a destiny helper. The Suya man sliced meat with speed, smoke rising like magic. Zara sniffed deeply. I can smell the future. Adrian shook his head. You're not normal. That's why you love me, she shot back without thinking. He froze. She froze. Their eyes met again, this time deeper, heavier. Zara quickly looked away. I mean, that's why everybody loves me. Not you specifically. You don't love me. Why would you love me? Huh. Nobody loves me. I'm a disaster. Zara, he whispered, wishing he could tell her she was wrong. Wishing he could tell her he loved every chaotic part of her. But he stayed silent. And that silence became a mistake. Because while they were waiting for Suya, the disaster of the night arrived. A disaster named Ethan Blake, Adrian's personal assistant, the one person who should never have appeared at a public festival. Ethan found him. Of all the places, all the crowds, all the thousands of lantern-lit faces, Ethan Blake managed to track him down. Adrian first heard Ethan's voice before he saw him. Sir. I finally found you. Zara's head snapped toward the sound. Sir, she repeated slowly, eyes narrowing. Adrian's stomach collapsed. Ethan pushed forward through the crowd, sweating, panting, wearing a suit that didn't belong in a festival. Sir, Ethan gasped dramatically. The board is losing their minds. Investors are panicking. You've been gone for months. You're the CEO of Cole Global Empire, sir. You can't just disappear. Silence. Everything froze. Even the Suya man stopped slicing. Zara stared at Ethan. Then stared at Adrian. Then stared at Ethan again. Slowly, like a robot, She turned her head back toward Adrian with wide, betrayed eyes. CEO, she whispered. Sir? Empire. Adrian opened his mouth. Zara, wait. Wait, she exploded. You're a CEO. A billionaire CEO. I can explain. You lied to me, she shouted so loudly 3 people dropped their lanterns. I didn't lie. I just didn't tell you everything yet. Adrian. That is literally the same thing. Crowds began gathering, phones pointing, murmurs rising. Adrian reached for her hand. She snatched it away like he burned her. So all this time, you were pretending? My friend? My helper? That sweet, ride-or-die man with me. Zara pressed a hand to her chest, breath shaking. You were acting? No, not acting. Zara, please listen. How dare you? Her voice trembled. How dare you make me care about you when you weren't even telling me the truth about who you are? Ethan, useless as always, whispered loudly. Should I step back? This seems personal. Shut up, both Zara and Adrian yelled. Ethan jumped like a frightened chicken. Zara looked at Adrian again, and this time her eyes were wet. Not from anger, from pain. If you wanted me to like you, you could have just told me the truth. I don't care about money. I never did. Her voice cracked. You hid from me. You didn't trust me. You made me look stupid. That's not what I meant. But it's what you did. She began stepping back. Adrian panicked and followed. Zara, let me explain. I didn't hide it because I didn't trust you. I hid it because I didn't trust myself. I didn't know if my feelings were real or if I was just desperate. I wanted to learn who I was without the money. That doesn't fix anything, Adrian. Zara, please. I need space, she whispered. No. No, please. Don't go. Let's talk. She raised her hand to stop him. Adrian. I like you. Too much. And that's exactly why this hurts. She swallowed the lump in her throat. I thought you were different. But you're just another man who didn't see me worthy of the truth. He reached for her again, voice shaking. Zara, I didn't want to lose you. You've lost me already. That sentence hit him harder than any blow he had ever received. Before he could respond, Zara turned around and walked away. Not dramatically. Not shouting. Not causing chaos. Just quietly. And that broke him. The girl who created storms walked away like a dying candle, soft, small, fragile. Ethan stood beside him awkwardly. Wow. That was something. Adrian's voice cracked. Ethan. Yes, sir? Go back to the hotel. Should I? Now. Ethan sprinted like his life depended on it. Adrian stood alone in the middle of the glowing festival, lantern lights floating around him like mocking fireflies. The music was still playing. People were still laughing. Lanterns were still rising beautifully into the sky, but his world felt dark. Because Zara Bello, the beautiful disaster he had fallen in love with, had just walked out of his life. And for the first time in years, Adrian Cole felt fear. The fear of losing someone who mattered more than all the billions he owned. He whispered into the night, voice shaking. Zara, please come back. But she didn't turn around. She didn't look back. She disappeared into the crowd. And the festival continued without mercy. Zara didn't run home. She didn't scream. She didn't cry loudly like she normally did when life slapped her. She just walked. Slowly. Quietly. As if her heart had become too heavy to drag at a normal speed. The festival lights blurred behind her as she stepped out into the quieter part of the street, her sandals finally found, dust on her toes, her chest burning. She didn't know exactly where she was going. She only knew she had to keep going because stopping meant remembering, and remembering meant crying. So she walked. And Adrian followed. Not close enough to touch her. Not close enough to force her to speak. Just close enough to know she hadn't vanished. He trailed her from a distance of 10 steps, scared to come closer, scared to walk away. But Zara noticed. Of course she noticed. Because Adrian, 6'2", broad shoulders, stubborn walk, was impossible to ignore. She spun around suddenly, making him skid to a stop like a guilty schoolboy. Why are you following me? Her voice cracked, then steadied. Adrian, I said I need space. I know, he said softly. I'm giving you space. You're literally behind me. Emotional space, he corrected. Adrian. He raised both hands. Okay. I'll stay back. She glared. Go home. He shook his head. I'll go when you enter your house. Safely. Zara stared at him for too long. Too painfully. Then she sighed, long and tired, and turned away again. They continued like that for the next 10 minutes. Zara walking fast. Adrian walking slower. Then Zara walking faster again. Adrian speeding up. Zara stopping abruptly. Adrian pretending he wasn't following her. She kept wiping her cheeks angrily as tears fell against her will. At some point, she whispered to herself, "Why does this hurt so much?" Adrian didn't answer. But he heard it. Every syllable stabbed him. When they reached her compound, Zara stopped at the gate and finally faced him fully. The streetlight above them flickered, casting shadows on her face. She looked exhausted. Not physically, emotionally. Like someone who had held life together with weak thread and the thread finally snapped. Adrian, she whispered, voice trembling, go home. He swallowed. Can I just say, no? Please. Adrian, don't make me hate you, she said in a broken whisper. His breath caught. That sentence felt like fire on his skin. She turned around and walked into her compound without waiting for him to respond. She didn't slam the gate. She closed it softly, which somehow hurt more. Adrian stood outside the gate long after she disappeared. It took everything inside him not to break down right there on the street. But he stayed strong. Just barely. The next morning, the entire neighborhood woke up to chaos. Specifically, Zara's chaos. She spent the early hours pacing outside her room, muttering, I can't believe him. I can't believe me. I'm so stupid. I'm a clown. A real clown. In fact, I'm the whole circus. Her sister Mimi peeked from their door. Auntie Zara, are you okay? No, Mimi. I'm not okay. I'm in premium tears. Her brother added, did someone die? Yes. My trust. It's dead. Completely buried. Then she walked straight into the wall because she wasn't paying attention. Ah, she shouted, rubbing her forehead. Even the wall wants to add to my suffering. Her siblings watched her like she was a documentary. Meanwhile, across the street, hiding behind a small kiosk, was Adrian. Yes, the billionaire CEO of Cole Empire, a man worth more than some countries, was crouched behind a kiosk trying to peek through a crack in the gate. Ethan, who had begged him not to look suspicious, was standing beside him, out of breath. Sir, Ethan whispered frantically, you look insane. Please come back to the hotel. Adrian ignored him. He watched Zara pace in her compound with the same intensity of a man watching his entire life crumble. Sir, Ethan tried again. You haven't slept. You haven't eaten. You're wearing the same clothes from yesterday. Adrian hissed. I need to see if she's okay. She's not okay, sir, Ethan replied honestly. She's walking like her brain is overheating. Adrian glared at him. You're not helping. No one can help this situation, sir. You lied to a dramatic woman with strong emotions. This is doom. Adrian pinched the bridge of his nose. Ethan, please. Just stay quiet. Ethan zipped his lips literally with his fingers. But his eyes said, I told you so. At 10 a.m., Zara left her compound for work, fast walking, chin up, angry dignity everywhere. She locked the gate and marched down the road. And Adrian, of course, started following her again. But this time, Zara was ready. The moment she sensed him behind her, she ducked into a shop, so quickly the shopkeeper screamed. Madam, why are you hiding behind my tomatoes? Please, just hide me. Before the shopkeeper could argue, Adrian reached the front of the shop. Zara immediately crawled under the table. Yes, crawled. Under the table. Adrian entered. Good morning, sir. Have you seen a woman? No, the man answered instantly, eyes wide. No woman. No person. No shape. Nothing. Zara hissed under the table. Tell him you saw me travel. Ah, the man muttered. Adrian eyed the table suspiciously. Zara. She froze. The shopkeeper froze. Even the tomatoes froze. Adrian knelt a little. Zara, are you under that table? No. He tilted his head. Her eyes stared back at him from the shadowy space beneath the table. "Get out," he whispered. "No," she argued. "You're being too dramatic." "I am dramatic?" he repeated, offended. "You're the one crawling under market furniture. I'm avoiding you. You're crawling on the floor. It's called survival." The shopkeeper clapped slowly. "This is the best drama I've seen since 2018. Zara hissed at him again. Adrian sighed deeply. "Zara, please. I'm not here to upset you. I'm here because I love." She shot out from under the table like a missile. "Don't say it. But it's true. I don't want to hear it." She ran out of the shop. Adrian ran after her. The shopkeeper shook his head. "This love is strong madness." At work, Zara refused to speak to Adrian. Not with words. Not with look. Not even with body language. She pretended he was there. Except, she was terrible at pretending. Because every time he moved, her eyes darted to him. Every time he sighed, she flinched. Every time he sat, she shifted uncomfortably. Her coworkers noticed immediately. "Toe. Lovers quarrel," Mary whispered loudly. "Leave me alone," Zara said, turning her face away. Mary smirked. "Your fine boy boyfriend is waiting outside again." "He is not my boyfriend. He looks like your husband." Zara choked on air. At lunchtime, Adrian stood outside the restaurant holding a lunch bag. Zara saw him through the window. She ducked. Behind a broom. A whole adult woman hiding behind a broom. Another coworker, stared at her. "Zara, do you think he can't see you behind a broom?" Zara peeked over the broom handle. "SHHH. He must not know I'm here." "Too late," F replied. "He's coming." "What?" Zara dropped the broom like it was hot coal and sprinted through the back door. Adrian entered the restaurant seconds later, holding the lunch bag like a peace offering. "Hi," he said awkwardly. Mary crossed her arms. "Your girlfriend ran away through the back." "She's not my girlfriend," Adrian whispered sadly. Mary softened a little. "She likes you. She's just hurt." He nodded slowly. "I know." Zara burst out the back door and sprinted toward the alley. But then she saw him. Standing right there. Arms crossed. Waiting. Adrian had predicted her escape route. Zara skidded to a stop like a confused goat. "No," she squeaked. "You're everywhere. You're running everywhere. What do you want from me?" "You," he said simply. She froze. Her heart betrayed her. It squeezed painfully. She took a shaky step back. "Adrian, don't. Please. You can't fix everything with sweet words." He stepped forward. "I'm not trying to fix everything. I'm trying to fix us." "There is no us." "There is," he insisted. "Even if you're angry. Even if you hate me right now. Even if you're hiding behind tables, brooms, and random tomatoes." "That was one time." "3 times," he corrected. Zara pointed at him angrily. "I'm serious, Adrian. You lied to me. You let me talk about my problems like a madwoman while you hid one small detail, that you're a whole billionaire so." He winced. "Okay, yes. I deserve that. Do you know how stupid I feel?" "You're not stupid." "I am," she yelled. "I was out here feeling special because a factory worker cared about me. I didn't know I was talking to a man whose pen is more expensive than my rent." Adrian looked down. "I get it. I hurt you." "Yes. I'm sorry. That won't fix everything." "No. But it's a start," he whispered. "And Zara, I'm not leaving. Not until you understand why I hid the truth." She blinked rapidly. "I don't want explanations." "I know. I don't want apologies." "I'll still give them." "I don't want you to follow me. I'm still here." She clenched her fists. "Adrian." He stepped closer. Her voice broke. "Why couldn't you just tell me the truth? Why couldn't you trust me?" "Because I'm a coward," he whispered. Zara froze. Adrian continued softly. "I'm a coward, Zara. A rich coward who thought money was protecting him. I ran away from my life because I didn't know how to be human anymore. Then I met you, and you were so real, so messy, so loud, so alive. And I didn't want to taint that with who I used to be." Zara looked away quickly. He swallowed. "You deserve honesty. You deserve someone who tells you everything." "I failed at that." "I know." Silence stretched between them. The type of silence that hurt. Zara's chest rose and fell with heavy breaths. I don't know what to do with you. Adrian gave a small, sad smile. Let me stay. Even if you ignore me. Even if you shout at me. Even if you kick me out every morning. Just let me stay until you're ready to talk to me. Her eyes filled again, but she blinked them back aggressively. She didn't answer. She didn't say yes. But she didn't tell him to leave. Which, in her language, meant maybe. She walked past him quietly, returning to work without another word. Adrian watched her go with a mixture of pain and hope twisting inside him. Then he whispered to himself, I'll win you back, Zara. Even if it takes forever. He meant it. Every word. Adrian woke up before sunrise. Not because he slept early, he hadn't slept at all, but because determination had bullied exhaustion out of his body. He stood in front of the mirror in his tiny rented room, staring at the eye bags under his eyes and the hopeless mess of his hair. He looked like a billionaire who'd been beat up by heartbreak and poverty at the same time. Ethan stood beside him, holding a comb like it was a dangerous weapon. Sir, this is unhealthy. Adrian didn't blink. I need to win her back. You haven't slept in 48 hours. I'll sleep when she forgives me. Ethan dropped the comb. So, never. Adrian shot him a glare. Ethan. Sorry. Motivational error. Adrian grabbed a lunch bag, a flask, and something wrapped in foil. Ethan frowned. Sir, what's that? A peace offering. Ethan peered closer. Sir, that looks like burnt pancakes. Adrian touched his forehead. I tried. I watched a video. I followed the steps. What video? How to cook if you want your love to break up with you permanently. Ethan. Sorry again. But Adrian didn't change the plan. He would not give up. Not today. Not ever. Zara left her house at 6:30 a.m. She thought leaving early would guarantee peace. It did not. Because standing directly in front of her compound gate, looking sleep-deprived, holding a foil bag like a man presenting a sacrifice, was Adrian. Zara stopped dead, then whispered to herself, God, please I beg, not today. Good morning, Adrian said softly. She attempted to close the gate back in his face, but he stuck his foot inside. Zara, please. Don't amputate me. She sighed loudly. Adrian, why are you here at 6:30? Do you want to weave my shadow too? He shook his head nervously. I brought breakfast. I'm not hungry. Please. She glared at him, then crossed her arms. What is it? He held out the foil bag. She opened it slowly, suspiciously, then blinked. The pancakes looked like someone ironed them with a car tire. Adrian, she said calmly. Too calmly. What is this? Love. It looks like wickedness. He winced. They taste better than they look. Zara poked it with one finger. It's moving. Adrian looked horrified. Is it? She folded the foil back. Adrian, I'm not eating that. I want to live. He looked crushed. Can I try again tomorrow? No. Tonight? No. Lunch? No. He nodded sadly. Okay. She walked around him and resumed her march toward work. Adrian followed. Zara sighed explosively. Adrian. He stopped instantly. Hands up. Like a criminal caught. I'll stay behind, he said. 10 steps back. You said that yesterday and still appeared in my shop like a demon. I won't do it today. I'll stay behind you. Quietly. Respectfully. Zara looked at him suspiciously, then turned around and walked faster. He stayed behind her, like a well-trained, heartbroken puppy. The moment Zara entered the restaurant, Mary squealed loudly. He's here again. Zara didn't have to look. She already felt his presence outside the glass door. Mary smirked at her. Your husband is consistent, oh. He's not my husband. F added. He's not giving up. That one is in love. Zara smacked her forehead. Please, you people should stop talking before I drink soap. The manager, Mama Tolu, walked past them and peeked outside. Ah, this fine boy again? Is he jobless? Zara groaned. Please, Ma, ignore him. Mama Tolu raised an eyebrow. Ignore? If a man stands outside my shop every day like that, I will marry him out of pity. Ma. Mama Tolu walked away laughing. Zara peeked through the glass window. Adrian was standing outside, holding a water bottle and staring at the ground. He looked like a man who had lost his entire life savings. And his heart. She felt her chest tighten, but she quickly looked away. He should leave me alone, she muttered. Mary smacked her arm. Then tell him. I can't. Why? Because my voice will shake. Mary smiled knowingly. That means you still care. Zara hissed. I don't. Liar. I said I don't. Mary left with a knowing expression. Zara touched her chest. Oh, she cared. She cared too much. And she hated that she cared. At lunch break, Zara decided she was not going outside. I'll eat in the storage room, she told Mary. Why? Because a certain tall, annoying, heartbreak-causing individual is outside. Mary snorted. You sound jealous. Jealous of who? Mary raised her palms. Oya, sorry. Don't explode. Zara carried her food and marched into the storage room. She opened her food container. Took one bite. Relaxed. Finally. Peace. Then something moved by the window. She froze. Turned slowly. And saw him. Adrian. Squatting outside the small window. Holding a sign made from cardboard. It said, Can we talk? Just talk. Please? Zara dropped her spoon. What kind of spiritual attack is this? Adrian lifted the sign higher. Zara stood, marched to the window, and whisper shouted, Are you mad? He whispered loudly back, No. I just want to talk. I said no talking. But I miss you. Her jaw dropped. Her heart jumped. Her brain malfunctioned. She closed the window in his face. He gently opened it again, whispering, Please, just 10 minutes. No. 5 minutes. No. 1 minute. No. You stuttered, Adrian said softly. That means you want to talk. Zara slammed the window again, this time with her forehead accidentally. Ow. Are you okay? Adrian panicked. I'm fine, she shouted from the floor. She was not fine. Her emotions were betraying her. Her heart was running a marathon. Her brain was throwing insults at the heart. And Adrian. Adrian was still outside the window holding new cardboard. This time it said, I'm not leaving. Zara covered her face and groaned loudly. What kind of love is this? She mumbled. I don't have strength. When Zara finished work around 8 p.m., she expected Adrian to leap out like a ninja. But he wasn't there. She blinked. Looked around. Nothing. Her heart sank unexpectedly. Where did he go? Mary smirked. Oh, now you're looking for him? I'm not looking for him. I just want to confirm that he has gone home peacefully. F pointed behind her. And Zara froze. Because standing behind her, wearing an apron, holding a tray, was Adrian. Zara gasped. Why are you inside my workplace? Mama Tolu answered from behind the counter, drinking malt. He said he wanted to help. He washed plates, swept the floor, arranged chairs, cleaned tables. He works better than USEF. Zara felt faint. Mama Tolu. Why did you allow? He is fine, Mama Tolu shrugged. And he looks like he is suffering heartbreak. I didn't want him to go and drink gutter water. Zara pinched the bridge of her nose. My God. Adrian stepped closer. His voice gentle. I sincere. I told you I'll do anything to win you back. She looked away quickly. Too quickly. Adrian, you can't keep doing this. I can. And I will. She swallowed hard. Why? Because you're worth it, he whispered. Her heart thumped so loudly she was sure everyone heard it. They walked home in awkward silence. She didn't tell him to leave. She didn't tell him to follow. He just walked beside her, a little too close, a little too hopeful. When they reached her gate, she turned to him. Her voice soft. We can't continue like this, Adrian. I know. You can't keep doing things for me. I want to. You're making it harder. For you. For me, she admitted quietly. He stepped closer. Because you still care. She swallowed. I didn't say that. You didn't deny it either. Her breath caught. He reached out gently, slowly, like someone touching fire. He held her hand. Zara didn't pull away. But she didn't squeeze back. She just stared at him, hurt and love battling inside her eyes. Zara, he whispered, I'm trying to show you something. Show me what? That the man you knew, the one who worked, sweated, joked, argued, annoyed you, cared for you, that's the real me. She blinked fast. And the billionaire, she whispered. That's just my job. Silence. Deep. Heavy. Electric. Zara looked down at their joined hands. Then slowly, painfully, she whispered. I'm still angry. I know. I'm still hurt. I know. And I don't trust you yet. Adrian nodded. Then I'll earn it back. She looked up, eyes trembling. How? However long it takes. Her lips parted. A small breath escaped her. Her heart, despite herself, softened. Just a little. "Good night, Adrian," she whispered. "Good night, Zara." She pulled her hand away slowly, walked into her compound, closed the gate gently, and Adrian smiled. Because for the first time, she didn't run. She didn't hide. She didn't scream. She stood still. She listened. She let him speak. It wasn't forgiveness, but it was the beginning. The very beginning of getting his Zara back. And Adrian Cole, billionaire, worker, lover, was ready for the long fight ahead. The morning sun barely lit the city when Maya Benson stormed into Cole Enterprises, armed with coffee, pastries, and her trademark chaos energy. She was late, of course, partly because she had spent the early morning planning new ways to survive Adrian Cole's icy wrath, partly because she had gotten distracted rearranging her sock drawer by color and chaos potential. "Good morning, Ice King," she called, waving like a general leading troops into battle. "Prepare yourself. Chaos is about to hit your office." Lucas, already sipping his third coffee, muttered, "I think she's permanent now." "Permanent chaos, yes," Maya said. "That's me. The hurricane that doesn't apologize." Adrian, sitting behind his glass-walled office, felt a twinge of frustration, amusement, and something he refused to name. She had survived weeks of his icy discipline, Vera's manipulations, family chaos, and her own disasters, and yet she was smiling, thriving, and still fearless. Somehow, she had pierced the carefully constructed walls around his heart. By mid-morning, Maya had already tripped over her own shoelaces, sending her papers flying across the lobby, accidentally hit Vera with a flying pastry, whispered sarcastic commentary about Adrian's expression during a board meeting. "Sir, you look like a frozen glacier, but a stylish one." Adrian's patience, already strained, frayed further. He wanted to scold her. He wanted to freeze her with a look. Instead, he found himself smiling. Tiny, brief, almost imperceptible. Maya noticed the twitch of his lips. Step 1, survive. Step 2, chaos unleashed. Step 3, optional Ice King smile. Progress. Meanwhile, Vera, enraged by Maya's growing influence, escalated her manipulations. She spread rumors, subtly questioned Adrian's judgment in meetings, and attempted to remind him of their past betrayal. "You're letting her take over," Vera hissed during a private confrontation. "You should see reason. She's reckless. She's a threat." Maya, of course, didn't flinch. Threat? Absolutely. Chaos incarnate? Definitely. But harmless? Never. And the Ice King? Totally addicted to the chaos. Vera's eyes narrowed. "You think this is a game. You have no idea what you're dealing with." "Oh, I do," Maya said cheerfully. "I deal with chaos for breakfast. Actually, I brought breakfast." She tossed a croissant toward Vera, who caught it with a scowl. Adrian, watching silently from the office, felt something strange, relief. He didn't like Vera. He didn't trust her. And yet, watching Maya handle her fearlessly stirred an unfamiliar warmth inside him. By lunchtime, Maya decided it was time for the final act of chaos. She followed Adrian to the cafeteria, tray in hand, balancing coffee, pastries, and a small stack of emergency snacks for morale purposes. "Sir," she said dramatically, "I have brought sustenance, chaos, and possibly happiness. Choose wisely." "You are relentless," Adrian said through gritted teeth. "Yes," Maya exclaimed. "Exactly." Finally, acknowledgement. Step 1, chaos. Step 2, survive. Step 3, optional Ice King happiness. Lucas, observing, whispered, "She's dangerously close to something." Maya winked. "That's the plan. Chaos is transformative." The real turning point came later that afternoon. Adrian had asked Maya to organize some files in his office. While she was attempting to create a functional chaos system, She noticed a photograph tucked in the corner of his desk. Adrian with his sister and mother, smiling. "You love your family," she said softly, "more than anyone else in the world, right?" "Yes," Adrian admitted, jaw tight. "And I protect them fiercely." "I get it," Maya said. "And that's why you're so cold to everyone else. Because no one else matters." "I understand now. I get why you are who you are." Adrian's icy facade faltered for just a moment. Maya didn't comment. She simply smiled, knowing that she had begun to penetrate the armor he had built over the years. The office erupted in chaos shortly after. Vera had attempted one last scheme to unseat Maya from Adrian's life. She cornered her near the elevators. "You're playing a dangerous game," Vera warned. "I'm chaos incarnate," Maya said brightly. "Dangerous is my middle name." "Oh wait, it's Benson, but you get the idea." Vera scowled. "You don't understand what you're doing." "Oh, I do," Maya said. "I survive, thrive, and make him smile. Chaos always wins." Adrian, standing behind them, felt his chest tighten. He wanted to intervene, to protect her, to yell at her, but somehow he couldn't. He found himself watching, fascinated, curious, concerned. By evening, the tension had reached its peak. Maya had survived the week, confronted Vera, and caused multiple disruptions in the office. And Adrian? He realized, perhaps reluctantly, that he couldn't control her. He couldn't predict her. He couldn't stop thinking about her. Lucas watched from the sidelines. "She's done it," he whispered. "She's broken him." Adrian, alone in his penthouse, refused to admit it. He refused to name it. But he felt it: warmth, attachment, chaos-induced happiness. And it scared him. Maya, meanwhile, texted Ethan. Text: "Week complete. Ice King officially melted. Step 1. Survived. Step 2. Chaos unleashed. Step 3. Optional smiles achieved. Pray I don't get fired tomorrow." Ethan replied. Text: "Sis, unstoppable." Maya laughed. "Yes, unstoppable, chaotic, and officially dangerous. But mostly unstoppable." The final confrontation came at the office the next morning. Adrian had called Maya into his office. "You are reckless," he said, voice tight. "You're impossible. You drive me insane. And yet, I can't get rid of you." Maya grinned. Step 1, survive. Step 2, chaos. Step 3, drive Ice King crazy. Step 4, optional acknowledgement of mutual something. Adrian's expression softened, the icy mask breaking completely. He leaned forward. "You make me feel things I haven't felt in years. And I don't know how to stop it." Maya's eyes sparkled. "That's step 5, chaos complete." Ice King officially thawed. They stared at each other for a long moment, the office falling silent. Vera's schemes had failed. Adrian's defenses were down. And Maya, chaotic, fearless, and unstoppable, had done the impossible. She had melted the Ice King. By the end of the day, Maya had survived another round of chaos. Vera had been neutralized for now, and Adrian finally allowed himself to smile, truly smile, for the first time in years. Lucas whispered to Ethan, who had been observing remotely. "She's a hurricane, a tornado, and a full-blown storm. And he's gone." Maya, texting Ethan, wrote. Text: "Mission accomplished. Ice King melted. Chaos wins. World stable, sort of. Feeling like a hero. Chaos forever." And somewhere in his penthouse, Adrian Cole, cold-hearted CEO no longer, stared at the city skyline, thinking about the assistant who had survived him, challenged him, and ultimately stolen his heart. Chaos had won. Love had begun. And the Ice King was no longer alone.